DTube Smartsnaps, snap number 2. Well, we've cycled back around for a second episode of the DTube Smartsnaps, and I like that there's a little bit of space in between these because that way it gives time for things to change and updates are more available as opposed to someone who perhaps tries to do something every day. If there isn't news in that area every day, you end up basically repeating yourself. And here we are on Snap 2, and I don't know how many days have gone by, probably about 10 days because there's a lot of Smartcasts that I have to cycle through. But this one's really exclusively for my experience on DTube and little, let's say, tiny updates on what I'm learning, what's going on. I mean, there was just recently a hard fork, and even though I read as much as I could and tried to understand as much as I could, it was really more stuff that goes beyond me as a content creator and more into the realm of programming. The only noticeable difference for me is that there are 15 leaders now as opposed to 13. Some of the other changes were small changes that needed to be made in order for things to run a little bit smoothly. We still got some hiccups, we still got some glitches, but it's doing pretty good. So, if you heard the last snap, I like to just kind of divide this Smartcast in just the 3 pieces: the economy, the social, and the leadership. And I'll talk about the things that I'm learning and the things that I'm trying to understand. So the economy, we are now on 1900 DTC, 1.9K, and that's 100 up from the last snap that I did. So I'm playing around with trying to work with a strategy of a 1% upvote for everything, whether it's comments, whether I'm upvoting someone else. Sometimes I may do a small exception, like if I'm just missing 1,000 or 2 on the VP, then I can add that in. But I try to stick around the 1% upvote. Now I have 1.1 million VP. If you heard the last snap, you say, wait a minute, 1.1 million. That's exactly what you had last time. Well, I was working on DTube, doing some things and trying to figure out some stuff because there's some glitches that I'm trying to figure out as far as the comments, voting on comments. There seems to be something in the code that matches the video process, the video code, the video procedure. What you go through in order to vote on a video is the same thing you go through when you vote on a comment. The problem is that if you try to change the percentage, the program is looking for a tag, is looking for you to add a tag or to nominate a tag. And in point of fact, in the comments, there are no tags. You can just tip and that's it. So I'm still trying to understand the glitch that's going on with that. I don't have any problems with upvoting videos and changing the percentage and putting tags. But when it comes to upvoting comments, I'm only able to do a 25% author tip vote, and everything else gives me a kind of error. I reported that error, and Dev Deckard Kane 94, which is in the leadership list for this snap as well, he put in an issue to GitHub that hopefully that will get sorted out. So anyway, what was happening is I was trying to deal with upvoting a comment of someone that I'm following, Will J Man 76, and Grazia distracted the hell out of me and ended up, I ended up hitting the upvote button when it was like 21, 22% or something like that. And it burned up, it used up, it consumed up a good bit of my VP. I wasn't happy about that, but hey, it wasn't at a loss, because the person that I was upvoting got a nice chunk of DTC. I got a nice chunk of DTC, but I didn't want to use up my VP in that way. So I'm still at 1.1 million VP. I just got back to that practically today. And so I'm hovering around that mark. What I'm doing is I'm allowing the 1% upvote at the moment. Because I have 1.9K DTC, I can generate a fair amount of VP each day, which allows me to do a 1% vote on at least 4 things, because I'm generating about 44,000 VP a day. And if I do an upvote, if I publish something, if I leave a comment, if I upvote a comment, that consumes about 11,000 VP, right? So that means I break even within the day. So I try to do about 3 so that it can gain a little bit more. But it's still stuff that I'm experimenting with, playing around with. I've gone beyond, before it was just all about upload the video, publish it elsewhere. But now I'm trying to understand more the platform, the system. You know what? In a certain sense, I'm growing fond of DTube. Ever since YouTube censored me, I've just been feeling really almost a level of animosity towards YouTube. But at the same time, I kind of wanting to get to the redundancy plan to say, why the hell should I have to deal with that if I have alternatives? That I have many alternatives at the moment. So DTube, I'm becoming more fond of DTube because of these different things that are happening. So like I said, I'm still sticking to my 1% upvote plan per day because I don't want to consume a lot of my VP. Like, I'm really trying to learn and understand the value of this voting power and how to generate more of it and how to calculate things in such a way that when I do my voting, I don't go under. And what I mean by under is that each day I'd like to have more voting power than what I had the previous day. Now, so long as I'm active, I have to monitor that because, I can do about 4 things. I can do about what I call them moves. I can make about 4 moves a day with 44K. If I don't make all 4, then there's the guarantee that the next day my VP will increase. But if something happens where I'm missing for a couple of days or, the weekend or something like that, and that VP accumulates, then I want to continue to play with that. Now, I've added a new feature to Economy, especially since today is Monday, and Monday is my financial distribution day, if you want to call it that. I like to move funds around. I'm on Steemit, and so I get, I get a lot of rewards from all the activity, and then what I like to do is I like to move that around. And one of the places that I like to move it around is into Economy, where I can kind of look to get some of these DTube tokens. However, the plan at the moment is to double my investment. So I came in with a little over 1,500, and I want to see how long it takes to double that through my activities, through posting, through people who support me, who upvote me. And I want to see how long it takes to get to that 3,000 mark or somewhere around 3,100, because then that would be the doubling. I don't have any doubts that will happen. I mean, I'm already at 1,900, so it's been pretty good so far. And when you consider that doubling, doubling can take 6 months. Doubling can take 8 months. Sometimes doubling can take a year. Beyond a year, then it's not really a good idea. But I have the feeling that with the activity, with the more that I'm learning about the platform, and with the support that I get from the platform, I will reach that 3,000 mark. Once I reach that 3,000 mark, I'll jot down how long it took. And then what I will do is I'll make another investment, because I know that there is doubling going on here with the activity that's going on. And who knows, maybe in the future, in the near future, more people will begin to support Familia Gorione, maybe because they like, the things that I'm sharing. But we'll see. So what I have now is DTube at 150 Satoshis. Now, I know that sounds ridiculous. I know it may even sound offensive to some people, like, what? It's not what I want to purchase. It's not because I'm not going to get those today. These are for a future movement. Once I reach 3,000, then whatever I have invested in Economy will get moved into the DTube platform for the next investment. But I'm not looking at the price of DTC. I'm not looking at the price of DTube going down. I'm looking at the price of Bitcoin going up. And I'm looking at 150 Satoshi because I'm betting that Bitcoin's going to hit 70,000. Once Bitcoin hits about 70,000, then 150 Satoshis is worth 10 cents, which was the original offering for the DTube tokens. So as the Bitcoin goes up, I am thinking that the value of each DTube coin, because it's not a really tight market. DTube market is not really tight. There's a big margin. There's a big gap in there. So it's really unpredictable at this moment because there's not a lot of volume moving. So I'm looking in the future. And at the moment, I have my DTube set to be purchased at 150 Satoshi. That more than likely will change. Because by the time I reach 3,000 DTC, that will have to change because I'll be ready to make that investment then. So until I have the 3,000 DTC, I'll keep putting more into the Ionomy market and then maybe gradually begin to raise the price. Okay, social. Social hasn't changed much. I still have Will J Man 76 who leaves a lot of nice comments. I comment on him. We support one another, and so that's definitely still a positive thing that's going on. AD Torrent has been missing in action for a while, so he's doing probably a summer thing. So I haven't seen any videos from him, nor have I been able to comment on any of his videos because he just has not been around. RT International, still just taking an absolute hammering. I mean, is there anything that could save this profile? I mean, I like RT International. I don't know why it's being so continuously downvoted in the way that it is. Clueless. I have my opinions. I've expressed those opinions in the past, but I really don't know. I've added someone new to the list, Monaco64, because I'm looking towards the future of people that I may enjoy on DTube. And Monaco talks about the kinds of things that I like to look into. So I'm keeping him on the radar as a potential someone that I can support in the future when I have more DTC and more VP, because at the moment there aren't really a lot of content creators that really grab my attention. And it's understandable because at the moment I still have so much that I listen to on YouTube, but I'm gradually starting because in the future I want to be more involved in the DTube. And so once I understand the economy a whole lot better, and once I gain more DTC and gain more VP, I'll be wanting to support other content creators other than myself. You know, this go it alone game is not good for the long term. Leadership hasn't changed apart from the fact of what I mentioned earlier, that instead of 13, now we have 15 leaders. Now, when I did my last Smart Snap, I did not know that Ex Nihilo Witness was in the top 13. I don't know if it happened after, during, before. I didn't check. You know, I just kind of grabbed the name and I put the list together. But after I did the Smartcast, after I did this last show, the DTube Smart Snaps, I went and had a look, and you know, Ex Nihilo Witness is way up in what is now the top 15. So I'm really happy about that. That's what I was hoping for. I don't know how it happened. I don't know why it happened. I mean, Ex Nihilo Witness doesn't really chatter a lot, doesn't put up videos, doesn't really post much on Steemit other than the reward distribution. So, but I like them. I mentioned it before and I still want to support them. Now that they're in the top 15, I will be considering splitting up my vote. I don't like that my vote gets split up, but I understand that there has to be some kind of positive logic behind that. And so I don't think too much about it. Because if I start to split up my vote, then next on the list will definitely be Tech Coder. I mentioned last week, he's got the One Love uploader that is just amazing. I have had almost zero problems. I had one little problem, but it was basically my fault because I didn't check the tag. For some reason, the tag when you use the One Love uploader, probably on my computer, maybe not on other people's computer, but it autofills. The tag space gets auto-filled with Familia Gorione, the account name. So I don't know why it does that. So I have to check every time. So that one time it wasn't even a glitch. It was my fault because I didn't really check thoroughly before hitting the publish button. So the One Love uploader, I'm trying to get other people interested in it because it's really inexpensive. It's extremely reliable, probably because a small amount of people are using it. And so there isn't a lot of traffic. But, I mean, it's there. It should be used. It should be tested. It should be, I mean, especially if you have a community that revolves around this one love thing, you know, use the service. The man is putting it out there. It's reliable. So many people are lamenting, oh, the thumbnail doesn't do this. The video doesn't upload. Sometimes there's problems with IPFS. So, you know, support the dude. I mean, if he puts something reliable out there, grab it, jump on it. It doesn't cost you really anything, you know? Anyway, and I'm keeping Dev Deckard Kane 94 under the watchful eye. He's really busy. He's really idealistic. Posted up a clip of Ralph Nader. That's my man. Ralph Nader is definitely my man. Anyway, it goes to show what kind of character we're dealing with, and hopefully what kind of future we have for leadership. Idealism is always nice, but sometimes it can be looked upon as overly optimistic in an environment that is welcoming fresh blood in, but welcoming it in with the invitation of welcome to the inner circle. Welcome to where we do backroom deals. Welcome to where we discuss in private what we don't discuss in public. But anyway, that's the mysterious part of things. I won't go too much into that, but Dev Deckard seems like someone who really wants to stick to being optimistic and enthusiastic about leadership and about the future of DTube. So I'll keep him under a continuous watchful eye because I'm still watching now. And I don't know if all three. I recommend all three. If all three remain in the top 15, then I might decide to split my vote between the three, unless another, because I'd love to see High Touch get up there. But still, yeah, High Touch is like ex nihilo witness. I mean, you don't hear much from them, so I'd rather have a leadership that's accessible. It's much preferable to have leadership that's accessible. And Dev Deckard Kane is very accessible, and so is Tech Coder. Anyway, going a little bit over because I like this one now. This one that completely focuses 100% on DTube. I like this Smartcast, and so I can't wait till it comes back around again. But not too fast because, like I said, there's not a whole lot of subjects to cover, and I'm not really a DTube news reporter where I go in to Discord or I go in, check in here and check in there to see what's actually going on. I try to pay attention as much as I can to what's going on, but then, I pull back and I get into my own little projects. Okay, so that's it for Snap number 2. And we will catch up again on another Snap because really liking these. Okay, listen, thanks for the support, and thanks as always for listening. Let's have a good week.